Look at what just rolled into the shop. All right, guys, so here we are. We are at the shop. The car is here. There is a chassis on the ground sitting behind me. The cat's out of the bag. The secret's out, whatever you want to call it. That's right. 93 Cobra is getting a Roadster Shop SPEC Chassis. So it is time to get on and actually start building the build. So this video is going to go through getting the car back from paint. It's going to have receiving the Roadster Shop chassis. It's going to have a little intro to all the preparations that are required in order to get the car ready to even be able to mate it to that chassis, because it's not as easy or as straightforward as one might think. It is not overly complicated at the same time, but you got to do some cutting, some drilling, some hammering before that chassis is actually, in fact, bolt on. So it's an episode that you're not going to want to miss. And even myself, I'm quite excited for this build. I am putting the carriage in front of the horse. I'm waiting on a render. I already had a drawing drawn up, but I have another render that's in process. And once I get that, we'll go through kind of a whole build video and talk about exactly what we're hoping to achieve with this 93 Cobra. But for now, let's get on with the car, with the chassis, with some of the mods, painting the underside, getting it ready, and everything to get to this point that we're at right now. All right, guys, it's a big day. I just got home from Stone's Automotive, and we got the Cobra inside the trailer. Time to unload it, get it on the lift. So here she is, all its glory. Should be manageable on my own. Not much weight left here. You can see got it on my little caster dollies that I made. Actually made those for the Atomic Fox when I had everything out of it when I painted the floor up. So name of the game, get it on the 2-post lift over here, so that way you can get the rear end out of it. Start prepping because I am going to paint that floor. Well, let me get this rear end out real quick. Rear diff is out. Car is up. And looks pretty good. Nice and black in the wheel arches. See a little bit remnants of repair there. But in the grand scheme of things, guys, like considering how hard this thing got hit, it's amazing how some of these spot welds and stuff like that didn't snap. So thankfully they did not. Yeah, really nice work. Really happy with how all this turned out. What I'm really happy / excited, well, not excited because painting the underside of a Foxbody is never fun, but number one, this is not an undercoat car. Number two, it is very reasonably clean underneath here. So it's going to suck cleaning the whole underside of this thing, but it needs to be done. So that way, I don't know, guys, you can just see how nice those wheel wells look, all cleaned up in black, and then even in the front. Yeah, we need to make sure everything is uniform and everything looks the part and looks as nice underneath as it does up top. I have to remove control arms, bump stop, brake line setup will probably go as well. The fuel lines, all that stuff needs to be fished out and taken out of here. We don't need it anymore. And from there, the soap and water, the Scotch pads, the sanding discs. Oh, I'm not looking forward to it, but it is what it is. Well, it's time to get gloved up. It's a messy job, don't want to do it. It's time to start cleaning prepping the underside of the Cobra. So I figured I'd come out here and get a little bit done this evening. Bucket of soapy water with Dawn dish soap, safe for penguins, safe for Cobras or fox bodies. So you can see here, there's some dirt and dust, all that stuff, grime. Got super aggressive Scotch pads here. These are probably, I don't know, they're up there though in terms of coarseness. And I got a bunch of these from SEMA the other year, or from a company that was at SEMA. You'll see here in a minute how this goes. It's a messy, shitty job. And yeah, I'm going to complain about it here in a minute as I show you guys, and then we'll time lapse the rest. It's like doing dishes. The only thing that sucks is that the water starts dripping down your arm, and you're going to get wet. So depends on how you want to do it. I kind of like walk away from it. Well, we got most of the back half clean, which is in reality the hardest part. So what's the spot here? I have to go around, touch up a couple other things. See, I had my hands right up in the torque box area and all that stuff. So now we're gonna make our way down the transmission tunnel and the floor pans, and you can see we've definitely got some nastier stuff here. So I know some of you guys are like, oh man, that car is so clean. You're lucky. Well, I guess I've got a little bit of dirt, a little bit of grease to deal with. So we'll get some super clean on that and get that working while we're scrubbing. Well guys, I think the GoPro is getting ready to die. Good news is I'm just about wrapped up here. I'm gonna go over everything again. I'll sand everything down without the water, soap and water, of course. And we'll do some wax and grease remover and final prep and mask the car up, do all those things. And we'll get this underside painted. Well, beautiful sunny day in Texas today, and been doing a bunch of running around this morning. Just got the call. The transport's at the shop with the chassis for the Cobra. So I did give everyone in the area a heads up because I had to call in some favors in terms of being able to unload this thing off the transport, because your standard forks on a forklift isn't going to cut it. So we're going to see what we come up with in terms of getting the chassis unloaded, and then more importantly, what the next step is once it's off the truck. How am I going to get it into my enclosed trailer? I brought a set of wheels and tires with me, so I'm kind of thinking turning it into a roller and then getting it home. But let's see. This is the first chassis that I've personally ever taken delivery of, so let's see what the experience is going to be like.
You just got started, so you didn't.
I was gonna say, you guys probably could have unloaded it on the street, but I didn't know if this would make it over here.
No, he was already here, so. All right, you want to get a glance at it and everything before we
make sure it looks legit. Sure, even. So nothing was stacked on it, huh?
No. Just get like that.
All right. Yeah, I think we're good.
I just moved this thing like that.
Should I try with the long forks first?
Oh, did you get some extenders?
Yeah. So we needed them too, so I was like, man, but they're not 8 foot though.
Right. So we'll just see how it does.
They go to 6, and if I don't have that, then I brought the chains too. So
okay.
We're gonna get you off one way or another.
All right, I appreciate it. What type of beer does everyone drink?
Oh, you ain't gotta worry about that, man. We're car guys too. We're happy to be able to see it. John's probably over there scoping it out for his future hot rod. Color.
A lot of the car's Ferrari red, so I got him to powder coat the frame Ferrari red.
One of my biggest enemies in clean back in the day drove a red Mustang.
Oh, really?
Clean running Stangs.
So big thanks to my neighbors over at Z8 Glass that helped unload this thing. Needed to be a little strategic. They did actually have fork extenders for the forklift, but they still weren't enough. So you guys probably saw how we got creative with the jack posts and whatnot with it, but now it's time to come up with the plan to get it out of its pallet. So what I'm thinking is everything's just nailed on, so I'm just going to get all of these boards off. We'll get this crate out, which is the fuel tank. We got probably a box full of hardware and everything else in there, so we'll get rid of all of that and then come up with a way to, and I think I have an idea. So my concern is that if I take all this off and I bolt 4 wheels and tires on it, I don't think it's actually going to hold the frame up tall enough to be able to roll it out from the bracing that's on the underside. So what I'm thinking of is actually jacking the chassis up and using these crossers. So the boards that come off here, I'll put down there. You guys will see once this plan comes to fruition here, but let's go and see if I can make some headway with this thing, because my plan is to get it on 4 wheels and tires so I can actually load it into the enclosed trailer. So let's go. Looks pretty good. I just got to turn it around now so that the front faces forward when I get it into the shop. But very nice. So the exhaust will come and run through here. So we're going to need to figure that out. And also need to figure out, so that's the other challenge that I know a lot of people have talked about, exhaust routing. And I kind of have to say it's going to be below the diff. Look at how high this thing's sitting off the ground. Like, that's completely unreasonable. So need to come up with a plan to, I want that thing almost scraping the ground. We'll scrape that red Ferrari red powder coat right off this thing. All right, folks, so now that the underside of the car is cleaned, and while the chassis is also sitting here behind the car now, because this is a couple days after the fact, I actually cleaned the car before the chassis even showed up, trying to get things ready and be ahead of the game. And since I've cleaned everything, you're gonna see there's a bunch of masking tape with some numbers on it, or little notes and instructions. And that's all for me, so that I can be aware and remember what I need to do. Now, things start off with 2. I don't need step number 1, because step number 1 is like remove the factory K-member and I believe the rear differential and whatnot. So that's already done. Number 2 is we have to remove only this side for some reason, the bracket for the brake line. So I'm gonna have to take this off and probably touch up the paint behind it. Should have taken those off before, but as you live and you learn, and I'll probably do the same thing over on this side because I highly doubt that we are going to need these brackets when everything is said and done. So that is number 2. Number 3 is to drill off the crossmember, transmission crossmember brackets and remove these entirely. So I just got a spot weld sander that we will be using so that we can get these guys off. And then I have a note over here. Seems like the floor is kind of pushed up a little bit here. I don't know if it got jacked up on or what might have happened at some point, but I'm going to try and bang this down from the inside of the car. Pinch weld got a little tweaked here. I'm not sure what the hell happened. If somebody tried to jack up on it, because I know when it was on the frame machine, this was not like this. So I'm going to try and do some straightening here and hopefully not damage the paint. I know the side skirt hides things, but when your paint's this nice and clean, I want to try and, you know what I mean, everything else should be nice and clean. I did find this little crack right here when I was prepping out the car. So this is probably from the impact and not a big deal. We'll clean this area up and throw some weld in there and grind it off and everything will be good. And as we work our way back, we are at step 4, which is the emergency brake cable holders. Now on 92, 93, it's this style that coincide with this. And I'm wondering if this is gonna have to leave or not. So we'll have to see what because this is not in the instructions and is specific to 92, 93s. And if you guys have something older than that, this is where the little half moons are, where your parking brake or emergency brake cable actually kind of goes through that half moon because the cable is exposed and rides on it. Versus this guy, the cable's still in the sheathing all the way up to this bracket, and then there's maybe just this much exposed cable on the 92, 93 style. So that's going to be step 4, removing these. Step 5, apparently there's sometimes some metal that is in the way here or something and you need to hammer. According to the instructions, I don't think it's the case for the Cobra here. Then step 6 is to remove the upper control arm mounts, which are probably going to be the most involved, but shouldn't take that much. Hopefully the tool does its job. Step 7 is to remove, this is where, and they actually call it the e-brake or emergency brake cable block, or they call it something. I forget what they call it in the instructions, but it's inaccurate. It's actually the block for your rear brake lines. So that gets drilled off. And then, where's number 8? Number 8, we got to hammer this guy up and flatten that out flush. Number 9, we have to cut out 1 inch of material here. And similarly, we need to cut out some material right here. And this is probably just to give a little bit of room and access for something. And it's maybe it's like right here. We'll see. That's my assumption anyways. And then there's 11. I forget what 10 is. I have to check the manual. Those are all my numbers. Those are all the things that need addressing. But for right now, we're going to focus on number 3, 4, and 6. And to do that, we're going to be using this tool, which is pretty sweet. Use this to get the spot welds off along the roof line when we're separating the roof skin from kind of the upper inner structure. And so Stones let me borrow this for the night. So let's get at it and start zipping some stuff off here. Just a quick update as the GoPro died. Got my mask, my glasses, everything on. This is not for the faint of heart. Between the drilling, the sanding, the hammering, everything else, like these upper control arm mounts, I get it. They're factory stuff, but these are actually a lot stronger than I would have anticipated. So here I am, I'm still drilling. The parking brake cable brackets are off. The one transmission crossmember brace is off, and I tore the floor a little bit there. Got a little too carried away with the hammer and the chisel, but that's fine. I do believe that as part of this exercise, if you want perfection, like, you're removing spot welds at the end of the day. Steps 3, 4, and 6 done. I'm gonna have a little bit of welding to do. I'm gonna go over that, not right now because it is late and that took way longer than I planned, and I still need to do step 9. Yeah, step 9 on both sides. So I'm gonna go return the little spot welder sander, drop it off in the secret spot so that they have their tools back in time for morning, because I'll probably be sleeping in a little bit tomorrow. So what I'm going to be doing is heating the paint up with a heat gun, and then I've got these coil over spanner wrenches that I've wrapped in electrical tape so we don't scratch paint, and a pair of vice grips. So we'll heat this up, put the spanner wrenches on both sides, and guys, there's proper pliers that you can get for this, but this is just making what you have at home work. So hopefully we got a little bit of work to do from here all the way to pretty much here. So let's get at it and see if we can get this straightened out. Boom. There we go, guys. Looks pretty good. Can actually probably just go in a hair. I'm gonna fix this gap right here. And we're doing all right. So I'll just go over, do a couple final tweaks, and hopefully we'll be straight as we can get. So got the welder out, going through and trying to clean up a couple places where I blew through, grinding, sanding, drilling, and just want to try and have less holes. Got to go through and clean up a few more spots. And you can see here I pushed down the floor that was pushed up on the inside, so I banged that back down, and sort of same thing here, right? Just where there is blow through, so I'll just go through, add a little bit more weld. So, got some self-etch primer on all the bare metal. right, it covers up quite a bit of stuff. I'm going to spray a little bit of sound deadening. Most of the holes I created or damaged. That was done as a result of beating off all of those metal pieces. Has been corrected and getting closer to going to the next step here. And the microphone's dead on me. All right, guys, it's time. I've got some plastic laid down and around stuff I don't want overspray on. Got my Seymour MRO. I got these handy dandy turn your spray bomb into a spray gun handles, so that way my fingers don't go numb. Put my paint mask on, wiped everything down with some xylene, which is pretty much the same as a wax and grease remover or prep or whatever. It's in your paint thinner section. It's what I had in the shelf, so it's what I'm going to use. So I'm just going to get to mixing this can, and we're going to start spraying and get this done. Got our first coat on. Reality, probably just need 2 coats and whatever other little areas you want to get. Man, it's hard to get the bowl going in these cans, but amazingly enough, one can pretty much did the entire first coat. So just a little bit ran out of jam up in this area here, but other than that, things are looking pretty good. I'm gonna say the semi-gloss feel it might be a little bit shinier. This as it's drying, it's looking, it can be like that. I'd be happy with that, but we'll see. Oh, what a good way to wrap up the weekend, folks. It is Sunday evening, beautiful Texas sunset outside, and got everything unmasked and cleaned and swept and vacuumed and all that good stuff. And most importantly, the underside of the Cobra is now painted. And after 2 coats, I'm like, you know what? It's too shiny. So I opted to go with the flat black. And the flat black, to be honest, in my opinion, is more of a satin finish. Like flat black to me is almost like barbecue paint. Like it's almost got like, feels like 1000 grit sandpaper. This is smooth. This is definitely more of a satin finish. In my opinion, it matches the wheel wells that were done at the body shop, and you know, it turned out great. This is the same thing that I did to the Atomic Fox when I painted the floor of that car, and turned out great. So really happy with that. I'm happy with actually the masking tape that I got from SEMA, the Vibac. You can see Vibac in there. Not sure where you get it. I'll probably have to do some searching, but worked great. The tape was, you know, gentle. It stuck, right? Which is the most important part. So it's sticky enough, but it's gentle. You don't feel like it might pull up paint that you don't want it to pull up. And it was easy to remove after the fact. And on top of that, this little sprayer handle that I got off Amazon, it was like 2 for 10 bucks, and it worked great. It pretty much made this rattle can feel like I had a paint gun in my hand without the paint gun, and gave me a little bit more accuracy and flexibility to get up into some of the nooks and crannies and all that other stuff. So far so good. Really happy with the outcome. You can see some of the dimples, right, from where they had to smash stuff back straight. And of course my dimples from smashing up that part that needs to be clearanced for the chassis. And I'm assuming that it has to do with this area right in here, probably there'd be contact. So hopefully now I'm in a position, not gonna do it on this video or tonight, but can actually realign the hoist arms and actually look at mocking things up, getting the alignment. Actually, I got to drill and do the plates in the bumper holes there, because part of the mounting brackets go through there. So we'll be kind of going through the next round of instructions in terms of this chassis to see where and what we need to do to get these two things to connect to one another. So that's going to be that in terms of getting the car ready to be mated to the chassis. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, we'll catch you back here on the Infamous Project.